Front and Center. Front and Center. A focus on important and significant developments affecting the lives of Filipinos, not only in the Philippines, but also those living and working around the world. Join us in Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Good day, welcome to Front and Center, where we focus on developments in the Philippines, legislation that provides policies and directions that strives to promote a better economy for the country, issues that concern the welfare and well-being of every Filipino. All of these and more will be Front and Center. You can watch this program live on our Facebook page, Radyo Pilipinas World Service. And you can also hear us on our live audio streaming that's on a PBS Receiver app. Join us for another edition of Front and Center with your host, Jerome Toledo. And for our top story, more child development centers will be built in the country's underserved areas, the Department of Education or DepEd said. And this came after the DepEd signed a joint circular with the Department of Budget and Management in line with President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s directive to ensure quality education for Filipino children. In a statement, Education Secretary Sonny Angara emphasized the significance of the support for early childhood education, especially in low-income areas. He said that the investment that the government is making in early childhood education determines the kind of nation it builds. And this is not just about the education, it is a nation-building strategy. And at least 3,800 barangays in the country have no CDCs or the development centers, according to the Early Childhood Care and Development Council. The education chief noted that it will serve as a game changer for children to have a better future. Under the joint circular, local government units have clear guidelines on how to request and access funding from the Local Government Support Fund and the financial assistance for the construction as well as rehabilitation or upgrading of multipurpose buildings, which will be used as CDCs. Low-income LGUs will be prioritized as or in the said funding based on the circular. In terms of the process, the LGU would use the DBM's apps portal to send their fund requests for MPB projects, which will then be subject to the DepEd's evaluation and endorsement. And a portion of the obligation, however, must be shouldered by the local government units, including at least 150 square meters of land area, as well as the salaries of teachers and utilities for its operational costs. And meanwhile, on our top stories as well, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has created an advisory council that will provide strategic guidance and insights to strengthen and enhance global competitiveness of the country's semiconductor and electronics industry, or SEI. Under the Administrative Order Number 31, signed by Marcos on March 28th, the SEI Advisory Council will serve as the President's primary advisory body on matters related to the sector's development, promotion, and also the competitiveness. The Special Assistant to the President for Investment and Economic Affairs will serve as chairperson of the SEI Advisory Council, while the Trade Secretary will be the vice chairperson. And the council members include the secretaries of the National Economic and Development Authority and the Departments of Finance, Energy, Science, and Technology, Labor, and Education will be included in that council. Other members include the chairpersons of the Commission on Higher Education and the Basis Conversion and Development Authority, the Technical Education, Skills and Development Authority Director General, and also one private sector representative from the semiconductor and electronics industry to be appointed by the president, and that constitutes the Council of the Semiconductor and Electronics Industry. And according to that same administrative order, the SEI Advisory Council will oversee the implementation of the Philippine Semiconductor and Electronics Industry Roadmap. The council is also directed to ensure that the PSEI roadmap is aligned with the national economic development goals. And that administrative order states that the Philippines holds a vital position in the global semiconductor and electronics packaging value chain with approximately 5% share of the global semiconductor and electronics markets. It's because the Philippines exports its semiconductor products out of the country, and the also in the said administrative order, it states that to further accelerate the growth of semiconductor and electronics industry, it is essential to develop a strategic roadmap that defines the national government's objectives, strengthens the country's global competitiveness, and ensure effective implementation of policies through a whole of government approach. And also, in coordination with the SEI Advisory Council, the Department of Trade and Industry, or DTI, is directed to develop the PSEI roadmap, which will serve as a strategic framework to accelerate the growth and global competitiveness of the country's semiconductor and electronics industry. And that AO said or mandates the council to collaborate with relevant stakeholders from the private sector to ensure multidisciplinary approach in the development and implementation of the PSEI roadmap. And the council is also tasked to study the current legal and policy framework related to the SEI. And also, the Special Assistant to the President for Investment and Economic Affairs, Secretary Frederick Go, said that the issuance of AO 31 signifies the administration's commitment to strengthening the SEI as the country's top export sector. Go said that the development provides a platform to supercharge the industry growth, drive innovation, and enhance global competitiveness. And it all lies in the competitiveness given that we have rival countries that taking the spot also in exporting semiconductor and electronics industry. And Secretary Go added that this development is a part of a broader strategy to advance domestic manufacturing capabilities and move towards higher value-added activities. All concerned national government agencies, including government-owned and controlled corporations, are directed, while all local government units and the private sector are encouraged to support the implementation of the Administrative Order number 31. And in short, there is a whole of government approach. It includes national government, the local government, and also the private sector to accelerate the growth of the said industry. And also the funding requirements needed for the implementation of the administrative order will be charged against available appropriations of the member agencies of the council, subject to pertinent budgeting, accounting, and auditing laws, rules, and regulations. So we have to watch that in that developments as it may spur growth in the economic, given that we are in the midst of the trade war as the Trump administration imposes tariffs and that disrupts already the global economic markets. And more stories will be on your way when Front and Center returns.
Hatol ng bayan. Election Quick Facts.
Campaign period. Ang opisyal na campaign period para sa mga national candidates ay magsisimula sa February 11, 2025 at mayroon silang 90 days para mangampanya. Samantala, mayroon namang 45 days para mangampanya ang mga tumatakbo para sa local positions at magsisimula ito sa March 29, 2025. Ang campaign period ay matatapos sa May 10, 2025.
Hatol ng bayan. Election Quick Facts.
Tatak Pinoy is more than a branding exercise. It is about incubating and incentivizing great products that deserve to carry the Made in the Philippines trademark.
Magandang balita! Inilunsad ng DTI ang Tatak Pinoy Strategy na isang inisyatiba para bigyang lakas pa ang mga industriyang Pilipino. Layunin ng TPS na paunlarin ang mga Tatak Pinoy na negosyo upang mapabuti ang kanilang mga produkto at serbisyo sa loob at labas ng bansa. Ang mga programa at polisiya nito na tutulong sa mga negosyanteng Pinoy ay iikot sa human resources, infrastructure, tech and innovation, investments at sound financial management.
It is about creating products and services of the highest quality because Tatak Pinoy is also about excellence. And as a seal of great workmanship,
Sama-sama, gawin nating sikat at makilala sa buong mundo ang Tatak Pinoy.
This is a public service announcement. Maging handa sa oras ng sakuna. Para sa iyo at sa iyong pamilya, laging siguruhin, Go Bag ay nakahanda at naglalaman ng mga sumusunod. Ilang pirasong damit, ready-to-eat na pagkain at inuming aabot ng 3 araw. Personal na gamit para sa inyong hygiene. First aid kit kabilang ang alcohol, bandages, gamot sa lagnat, ubo at sipon, pati na rin ang inyong vitamins at maintenance medicines. Maglagay ng pito, flashlight, lighter o posporo. Huwag kalimutan ang mga charger o power bank. At higit sa lahat, isama ang mga importanteng gamit gaya ng inyong mga legal na dokumento, IDs, ATM o passbook, insurance at iba pa. This is a public service announcement. From PBS, Presidential Broadcast Service and Radyo Pilipinas.
Saan man, anumang oras, konektado ka sa Radyo Pilipinas World Service Online. Online digital na serbisyo para sa Pinoy sa bagong Pilipinas. Radyo Pilipinas World Service Online.
And welcome back to Front and Center. So before we proceed in our program, there will be a speech coming up, coming from Lucena City, as the President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. will attend the kick-off celebration for the Filipino Food Month, National Kick-Off Celebration that will happen in Lucena City in Quezon Province. And we have to watch out for that event of the President later in this program. But first, here are some other stories that we have gathered for the last 24 hours. So the Philippine National Police on Thursday said the Highway Patrol Group personnel will reinforce local checkpoints to intensify patrols and traffic rules enforcement following a road rage and shooting incident that left one motorcycle rider. All right, and we interrupt this regular programming to give way for the speech of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. at the Filipino Food Month 2025 National Kick-Off Celebration in Lucena City, Quezon Province. Let's listen in.
Mula sa Presidential Communications Office at Radyo Pilipinas, ito ang Presidential Live Event. Presidential Live Event.
Representative naman ng lalawigan ng Quezon, Representative Keith Mikatan. At ang ating host dito sa ating selebrasyon ngayon, ang ating Provincial Governor ng lalawigan ng Quezon, Governor Angelina Tan. Mga kasamahang lingkod bayan, mga kagalang-galang na panauhin, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Ngayong buwan, ipinapaalala na sa atin ang kahalagahan ng pagtatangkilik sa lutuing Pilipino. Kaya ikinagagalak kong maging bahagi sa pagdiriwang na ito, isang paanyaya na muling bumalik sa ating mga kusina. Para sa atin, ito ay lugar kung saan inihahanda ang pagkain para sa ating mga mahal sa buhay. Sa pagdiriwang ng buwan ng kalutong Pilipino, ginugunitian natin ang ating mga kusina bilang santuaryo ng ating kasaysayan, ng ating kultura at pagkatao bilang Pilipino. isang karangalan ang makasama kayo sa kick-off celebration ng Buwan ng Kalutong Pilipino or Filipino Food Month, kung saan pinagdiriron natin ang linanamnan ng ating mga putahe at ang lalim ng ating kakayahan bilang isang bayan. Ang lagi natin mga Pilipino, ang lagi natin sinasabi, kain na tayo, mangantayon, mangaunta. Iyan po ang madalas natin paanyaya sa isa't isa. Kung kaibigan man, kung malapit man, o kung hindi man natin nakilala pa. Para sa atin, ang pagkain ay ang wika ng ating puso. Ang simbolo ng ating pakikiisa at pagmamahal. Pero gaya rin ng mga pagmamahal, minsan nakakalito rin ang pagkain para sa ating mga Pilipino. Saan mo gustong kumain? Ang tanong. Madalas naman ang sagot dyan kahit saan. O kaya naman, anong gusto mong kainin? Kaya ang sagot na naman doon, kahit ano. Nakakalito man, malinaw ang isang bagay. Ang pagmamahal natin sa pagkain Pilipino at mga kasalo sa pagkain nito. Kaya nga, kahit payak lang ang ating mga tahanan o sapat lang ang nasa ating mga hapag, handa pa rin tayong magsabi, tara na, kain na tayo. Mahalaga ang lahat ng ito sa ating isinusulong na tinatawag na experiential tourism. Ano ibig sabihin yan? Ang nauso ngayon sa pag-tourist, ayaw naman ng turista na pumunta lang sa ilang lugar, uupo lang sa tabi ng dagat, magbabasa ng libro, walang ginagawa. Ngayon, ang gusto ng mga turista, meron silang nakikita, meron silang nararanasan na masayang ginagawa at napakalaking halaga na ipakilala natin ang pagkaing Pilipino. Dahil kapag nakakain na ang isang dayuhan ng masarap, kahit anuman na klaseng Filipino food, basta't natikman na niya, malaki na ang kanyang pag-unawa sa kultura ng Pilipino. Kaya naman, sa bawat paglalakbay natin sa mga rehiyon ng Pilipinas, natutuklasan po natin ang tiyaga at husay ng Pinoy sa pagluluto. Naniniwala po ako sa kasabihan na ang pagkain ay ang pinakamabilis na paraan upang pahalagahan ang ating kultura. Bilang tubong Ilocano, hindi ko naman malimutan ang lasa ng dinengdeng na inihanda ng aking pamilya. Sinasabi nga yung aking ama, yan lang ang kinakain. Basta pagka yung kahit na may bisita, yung mga bisita, steak ang kinakain. Yung aking ama doon, kinakain pa lang niya, isda, dinengdeng, walang kanin. Kaya naging sikat nga sa buong Pilipinas, itong simpleng ulam na mula sa sariwang gulay, na hinahaluan lamang na bagoong o patis, may konting pait at alat na ating binabalik-balikan. Meron na, dadagdagan pa, pag piyesta, lalagyan pa natin ng bagnet na malutong sa labas, na malambot sa loob. Sinasabayan pa ito ng kamatis at lasuna, tutugma sa tamis at alat na swak na panlasa ng mga Ilocano. Tawag po namin dyan KBL, kamatis, bagoong lasuna. Yun po ang para hindi po masyadong nakakaumay yung taba. Lalagyan po natin ng konting kasabay. Subalit hindi lamang Ilocos naman ay hindi ang may hatid na yaman sa ating panlasa. Sa Pampanga, natikman natin lahat ang sisig. Mula sa tira-tirang bahagi ng baboy, nakagawa ang ating mga kabalin ng isang obra na naging pambansang paborito. Dadagdag ko dyan, hindi lang pambansang paborito. Sumikat na ang sisig. At kung ano-ano, kung saan-saan ka po. Sa Amerika, lalo. Yung mga Amerikano, alam na nila yung sisig. Paborito na nila. Kaya makikita natin ang pagkain Pilipino kahit sa mo dalhin. Kung tayo ba ay nasasarapan, kung dadali mo kahit saan lugar, ang dami naman Pilipino, pinapakilala nila ang pagkain Pilipino, laging napakapopular ng ating kinakain. Sa Bicol naman, hinahangaan ko ang laing na may konting tamis mula sa gata at anghang mula naman sa siling labuyo. Sa Cebu, alam na sumikat ang Cebu. Paano mo malilimutan ang luto at lasa ng lechon? Sa linamnam nito, hindi kailangan ng sausawan. Sa Mindanao naman, ipinagmamalaki ng piyanggang manok ng mga tausog. Meron din silang yung tinuyang itom na ipinapakain na galing sa nakahalata na inyo, mahilig ako kumain. Ang dami kong alam tungkol sa pagkain. At yan ay tinuro sa akin ng aking ina. At yung father ko nga, dinengdeng lang ang kinakain eh. Yung mother ko ang talagang mahilig magluto. Kaya natikman po natin lahat yan. At siyempre po, dito naman sa Quezon, natikman po natin kanina ang pansit habhab, pansit na kinakamay at kinakain na diretso mula sa sariwang dahon ng saging. Mas lalo pa, sumasarap ito pag linagyan pa natin ng topping ng longganisang lukban na may tamang asim, sarap at masarap na bawang. Mga kababayan, sa pamamagitan ng ating mga pagkain, matutuklasan natin ang ating pagka-Pilipino. Malikhain, matatag at may malasakit sa kapwa. Malikhain, dahil nagagawa nating putahe ang mga pangkaraniwang sangkap. Matatag, dahil kahit sa panahon ng mga kakulangan, nagagawa pa rin nating ipagdiriwang ang kahit kaunting pagkain. May malasakit sa kapwa dahil sa tuwing may salo-salo, lagi nating naaalalang magdala ng pagkain sa ating kapitbahay. Sa buwan na ito, huwag din po natin kalimutan na sa bawat na masarap na putahe ay may mga kamay na nagtsatsaga upang tayo ay may maihain sa ating mga mesa. Sila ang ating mga magsasaka, ang ating mga mangingisda, ang ating manggagawa sa industriya ng pagkain. Maging ang ating paboritong kusinero sa karinderya ay ating purihin at pasalamatan. Ang bawat ulam na kanilang hinahanda ay may katumbas na sipag at tiyaga. Kaya naman, ang pamahalaan ay patuloy na gumagawa ng mga hakbang upang masiguro na may sapat at murang pagkain para sa bawat Pilipino. Bilang tugon, inilunsad natin ang iba't ibang programa upang mapababa ang presyo ng pagkain at maparami ang produksyon nito. Kabilang dito, ang Kadiwa, ang 29 peso program, at saka yung Rice for All, ang pagtatakda ng maximum suggested retail price sa baboy, at ang paglalaan ng pondo para sa programang mga pang-agrikultura upang matiyak natin na ang ating nilalagay sa hapag ay masustansya at abot kaya. Sa ganitong paraan, ang mura at dekalidad na pagkain Pilipino ay mabibigay lakas sa ating katawan na pagpapayaman pa sa kultura natin at pagkakakilanlan. Kaya, tara na, ating ipagdiwang ang pagkain Pilipino. Ipamana natin ito sa susunod na henerasyon. Panatilihin natin ang ating mga tradisyon habang tayo ay naglalakbay patungo sa isang bukas na may mas masaganang bagong Pilipinas. Maraming salamat po. Mabuhay ang pagkain Pilipino. Tara, kain na. Mabuhay ang bagong Pilipinas.
Maraming salamat po.
And you just heard the speech of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. at the Filipino Food Month 2025 National Kick-Off Celebration in Lucena City, Quezon Province, where he attended that event to showcase the Filipino food. And also, it was organized by the Department of Agriculture, in cooperation with the Department of Tourism and the National Commission for Culture and the Arts, and also the Philippine Culinary Heritage Movement. And this year's celebration highlights the importance of local agricultural produce in Filipino cuisine while strengthening partnerships between the public and the private sector. Under the Presidential Proclamation number 469, series of 2018, the Filipino Food Month is observed every April to preserve and promote the Filipino culinary tradition. A memorandum of understanding signed in 2021 by those agencies reinforces their continued collaboration in organizing this annual event. The celebration brings together key government agencies, culinary experts, and industry stakeholders in a unified effort to promote Filipino cuisine as a vital aspect of national identity and cultural pride. And also, the chief executive mentioned the experiential tourism wherein wherein the tourist will experience everything that he wants to see in a country, be it in a destination, food, and as well as people in that particular area. And also, the President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. mentioned the government's program to make food prices lower, such as the Kadiwa ng Pangulo, and also some interventions to make the rice prices lower. And with that, you've just heard and witnessed the speech of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. in Lucena City in Quezon Province. And that concludes this edition of Front and Center. Together with Radyo Pilipinas World Service Production Team and the technical personnel, Milo Janela, Hiro Lucero, Leo Magpayo, and Wayne Peñano, this is your host, Jerome Toledo. Until next time, mabuhay, love the Philippines.
You have just heard and watched Front and Center. Front and Center. Join us again for another edition here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Front and Center.